Hello everyone, it's Theary here from CloudyCoralDesigns. I am so happy to be back on the channel today. Today I am sharing a card that I created using Concord 9th Hip Hip Hooray stamp set with coordinating dies. Let's get started. Here's a quick look at the stamp set with the coordinating dies. So to start off my card, I placed white cardstock into my MISTI. And I went ahead and stamped out the super duper stamp on the bottom of my cardstock. Cool thing about this stamp set is that it has a lot of great sentiments and they're large. I was gravitated to make a masculine card, so here is my take on a masculine card. And then I went in with the yay stamp and I stamped that in the center of the card front. This is a layering stamp. It's actually quite easy to use. So the shadow part, I went ahead and stamped that black, but you will see later on in the video that I went back in and re-stamped it only because I wanted to die cut it and I wanted to pop it onto my card. But you'll see that in a little later. So here I'm going in with a stamp Hooray. I'm using a nice black ink for all of the stamping done in the background. I did have to ink the stamp a few times to get a crisp image. Okay, so with this smaller sentiment here, I'm going in and stamping it down with Versamark ink. I then applied gold embossing powder over that and used my heat gun to heat set it. I like to make sure that my heat gun is nice and hot. Okay, so I wanted to add a little bit of color all around the card panel, so I'm going in with my blending brush and tumbled glass distress oxide inks and just blending that all around the edges of the card front. I'm not doing anything too fancy here, just adding a little bit of color. Now I'm going back in with the yay stamp and I'm stamping that onto another white cardstock. So I stamped the bottom shadow portion in black and I'm going in with the second layer and I'm stamping that in an ombre color. So I'm using two color inks here. So on the upper half of the yay, I'm using a lighter shade of red ink, and on the bottom half, I'm going in with a darker shade of red. This is creating a little bit of an ombre. And now I'm going to go in and die cut, but before doing that, there is a thumbs up die in the set. So I used two colors of ink and I just ran that on top of the cardstock. I'm going to use that to die cut the images out of. So after I finished die cutting, I went in with a yellow Copic marker and I wanted to add a little bit of a yellow shadow underneath the die cuts. Since I'm popping it up with foam tape, I just wanted to add a little bit of color. So going around the word yay, I'm just doing a little shading of yellow. After adding all of the yellow shadings, I went in and popped up the letters with foam strips. And for some added dimension, I went in and applied gold baubles all over the letters. To add a little more interest onto the card panel, I did go in with some paint splatters in gold and white and splattered that all over the card panel. I then trimmed down the card panel using my paper trimmer. So now it's time to assemble the card. I'm using liquid adhesive and gluing that onto a black cardstock that I trimmed that is slightly larger than the card panel. I also went in and glued that down to red cardstock that is a little bit bigger than the black cardstock. And after that, I glued that over a top folding card base. Now going in with that thumb sign, I glue that down onto the upper part of the card and also glued the hip hip sentiment on the upper right hand. I did stamp this out and die cut off screen. And of course, what I like to do is go in with my white gel pen and I added white highlights all over the letters. This just gives the letter a little bit of a pop. And there you have it, the card is now complete. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and please don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, have a great day. Bye bye.